Partial lockdown for Easter. Despite a significant improvement in COVID-19 numbers, the government of Barbados has announced 5 partial lockdown days to keep the cases on the decline in lieu of Easter celebration. Under the new Emergency Management Directive announced on Sunday, the Attorney General stated that from yesterday, Sunday, March 28, until April 11th, the curfew will run from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. The AG stated that today, Sunday, that was yesterday, to April 2nd, as well as on April 4th, that's a Monday, and April 5th, as well as April 11th, all those days would be the days of partial shutdown, and only specified businesses would be allowed to open on those days. He said, quote, "Now we have tremendous concerns about the upcoming Easter weekend, and I understand that this will be an important bank holiday, but we still feel we need to keep the brakes on for a little while longer." That's Barbados. Some news on the vaccine front from Cuba. Many years ago, Cuban leader Fidel Castro, he had vowed to build a biotech juggernaut in the Caribbean. And advancing the idea back in the early 80s, he started out with 6 researchers in a tiny Havana lab. 40 years later, the communist island nation could be on the verge of a singular breakthrough, becoming the world's smallest country to develop not just one, but multiple coronavirus vaccines. 5 vaccine candidates are in development, 2 in late-stage trials with the goal of a broader rollout by May. Should they prove successful, the vaccines would be an against-the-odds feat of medical prowess, as well as a public relations coup for an isolated country of 11 million that was just added back to the U.S. list of state sponsors of terrorism in the final days of the Trump administration. Cuban officials say that they are developing cheap and easy-to-store serums. They are able to last at room temperatures for weeks and in long-term storage as high as 46.4 degrees, potentially making them a viable option for low-income tropical countries that have been pushed aside by bigger, wealthier nations in the international arena for coronavirus vaccines. So, keeping our fingers crossed for the success of Cuba and their vaccines. On the tourism front, Jamaica. Jamaica has thrown its hat in the ring to become the next Caribbean cruise ship home port when cruise ships begin in the region come June. This was confirmed by Jamaica's Director of Tourism, Donovan White. The move by Jamaica comes less than a week after the Bahamas was announced as the cruise home port for Crystal Cruises and Royal Caribbean, St. Martin for Celebrity Cruises. On Tuesday last, it was disclosed that Vision of the Seas would begin cruises out of Bermuda, while the British Virgin Islands announced that it would be opening a cruise port of call. Jamaica is now trying to get in on the action, which has come about as a result of the United States cruise shipping home ports still being put on hold as a result of the corona pandemic. As a result, cruise lines are trying to find new alternatives to home porting, such as those in the Caribbean. Jamaica is now looking to be a cruise home port after it reopens its borders to international tourism planned for June 15. White pointed out that Jamaica's tourism officials have set in motion plans for the island to become a cruise home port. Now, that is significant in that home ports can bring a lot of dollars into the island, along with whatever else they bring in. But the fact is that if you are a home port, it means that cruises are starting and ending in your port. And if they're starting in your port, then for me to catch that cruise, I must fly into your country prior to, at least spend a night in one of your hotels. The same thing on the return. I must at least overnight on the way back. So, even in just that sense, along with other spin-off, I mean, it's not a bad idea at all. But everything has its pros and cons, right? In that connection, Florida is upset, and Florida has threatened to sue the CDC because while the Bahamas continues to enjoy this opportunity they're getting to become a home port for cruise lines, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis is threatening legal action against the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, in a heavy-handed approach to getting the federal body to allow cruise line to begin cruising from Florida ports once again. According to an article by ABC7.com, representatives from Carnival Cruise Line, Norwegian Cruise Line, Disney Cruise Line, and Royal Caribbean International have joined the governor in Florida, as well as the Attorney General, at a press conference last weekend to voice their concerns over the CDC restricting cruise travel for more than a year now. The article stated that Florida's AG is exploring the state's legal options to get the cruise industry back up and running, which is a big money earner for Florida. He wants it back in business ASAP. I can understand his concern because, as it says, Florida depends heavily on cruise lines. Most people cruising actually fly into Florida and they end in Florida, so I could understand his concern for his people, his population of Florida. But there you go. All right, that's what's in the news to the moment. Also, quickly, today begins the trial. I'm sure you and I, like the rest of the world, remember the George Floyd incident where this was back in May of 2020, which involved a police resting his knee on George Floyd's neck for some 8 minutes and 46 seconds, which ended in his death. The trial of the police officer involved in that begins today and is expected to last for about 4 weeks. So that is something that people are looking at, I would say, around the world to see what becomes of that case involving the death of George Floyd and the police officer who is said to be responsible for that. Okay, it is Holy Week, and remember when we discussed Lent and all of its traditions when Lent started back in Ash Wednesday. We had a discussion about Lent and all of the traditions involved with that some time ago. Well, Lent is a 40-day period, and this is the final week of that season, which we refer to as Holy Week. Yesterday was Palm Sunday, which begins the week and marks the start of Holy Week. And if you're a Christian, you are no doubt familiar with the story of the journey that Jesus made into Jerusalem, on a donkey no less, to celebrate the Jewish festival of the Passover. And as for the donkey, they say he chose a donkey to show that he had come in peace. So that's the animal of peace, as well as a burden, I guess. Many people welcomed him by waving palm branches and throwing branches down on the path of the donkey. And so the whole idea of Palm Sunday came about. Palm Sunday is both a happy and a sad day. The Christians are happy because they are singing the praises of Jesus, and also because they know that less than a week later he was crucified. And so this week we're going to take it a little easy and talk a little bit about some of that. Those of you who Christians are not do know of many of the traditions that go along with that. Lent itself is one of those periods which we talked about how we kind of calm things down for Lent, even though it doesn't happen anymore, but that was the tradition, things we do during Lent. Some people give up something, some people take up something for the period. But the final week of Lent, Holy Week, is usually exceptionally solemn. Because even if you didn't do a lot of things during Lent, people tend to turn up a little bit or turn down, depending on how you look at it, in this final week, which is referred to as Holy Week. There are lots of traditions that go with Holy Week. Well, for one thing, I can guarantee you that as we speak, people are beginning to make sure that they're prepared for Good Friday, for example. People are beginning to make sure they get saltfish. Saltfish kind of run out these times too because of the fact that we eat, dry foods, foods without blood. And so people are preparing. And sometimes around this time you hear that saltfish gone scarce. Deliberately or not, but it happens. All because that's a traditional food on Good Friday. And so as we work our way down to Good Friday, a lot of saltfish will be sold. Ground provisions will be sold. And so there are many of the traditions that go along with this week. Some people take it seriously and some don't. Some people couldn't care less about Lent or Holy Week or any of that. As a matter of fact, Lent is really not biblical. And so it's more of a tradition than anything else. But the crucifixion and the resurrection is. So I guess that makes this week a little more significant for the Christian faith. So what do you do? What does it mean to you, this whole season or this Holy Week? That's what's on my mind this morning. We will go to the phones and hear from you. Say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Good morning, Mr. Lent.
Good morning.
How are you, family?
I am well.
All right, I'm glad to hear you.
Okay.
Let me put one, maybe three things on the table.
Okay.
Short. First thing, I got 9 dumpling and saltfish to go eat today.
Saturday only, man.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna eat all 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut and contrive.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. And as you said, in this Lent season, the tradition is that we tone down on our lyrics and music and whatnot. But this Lent season is a special Lent season to the normal now. You got some so-called middle young age people driving up and down the government street. As already they have the music in there, breaking the law with noise. That's one. And addition to that, the kind of what they call it, profanities they got blasting on them vehicle in the street, public. I talk about it this morning in traffic, and I'm talking about it again, and other people going to talk about it. This is more than disrespect the law of the land, and disrespect to human being, and disrespect to the younger children who looking up at we older people for a good example to follow. And these are the things that we getting, we hearing out of vehicle on the government street, all over the place. It's not one place. It's all over St. You can hear them blasting out the vehicle. Well, what happened here? Something needs to be done to that. And we ain't gonna hush. We are not gonna hush about it. And the other one, up the village there, somebody called this morning again and talk about Millionaire Street and Wrigley Avenue. And there are 6 what we call through the alley street, but they are all paved. So if you want to swing through Millionaire Street, go down Millionaire Street and swing left to come to any one of them to come on Whitley Avenue. There are vehicle parks on them, park on them, and it is impassable. So we want to know what they're doing about that. Because you can't block up no street in the major street that people can't pass. Otherwise, the traffic gonna make you move them. So something needs to be done to that up the village there and other places which makes it impassable. But Tony, I am saying this. If we don't hold the bull by the hand right now and show the bull who is real bull, this bad word business here won't get away. It done far already, and we are calling on those who are supposed to enforce the law. Listen now, we man. Enforce the law, make them stop it. It's not good, it is not moral. Length on a length. They're not supposed to be doing that. Come on. They don't got some people out there on the street doing foolishness. They don't care where they do it. They don't care whether police or police or who. They're going to break the law and do what they got to do because of what? Nobody doing them anything. Nobody penalizing them. And the last thing, today starts begin the case with the boy George Floyd. Well, I've been following the news, and from the news been saying that it is difficult to find jurors who might be very partial to that. But I could tell them all over the world, anybody has to be juror on the case, they're coming straight forward with one thing, guilty. Guilty of murder. So I don't know how that they're going to work out. But something serious besides the compensation that the relative get has to be done to the police there. Thank you, Tony, for listening.
Okay. Thank you for calling.
I want a dumpling of cool along for you.
Okay, no, sure.
Okay.
Right.
You ain't getting the saltfish though.
No, oh boy. All right.
Okay.
Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen Nancy. God bless you, my beloved African brother. How are you, the family?
We're all doing well. What about you?
Good, man. Good. All is well, beloved.
All right.
Now, beloved, brother, St. Kitts Nevis, they got to get into the thing too, brother. Regardless of what the Ku Klux Klan governor in Florida said. Why he do what he got to do? And Jamaica and those around the VI do what they got to do. But St. Kitts and Nevis need to push hard. The Prime Minister, Brother Grant, and the entire cabinet. Yeah, they got to push hard. But, brother, talk about Cuba, brother. But, great things again, beloved brother. That's what I like you to do, beloved. Just like how you push here about AstraZeneca and Pfizer and Moderna and J&J. Got to push our own. Cubans are our people. And let me give you a little thing. I don't know. You should know, beloved, that our people, think it's Nevis. And I really was angry at that time, too. In the 40s, early 50s, before I was born. Our people used to go to Dominican Republic and Cuba to cut sugar cane. But let me deal with Cuba, beloved. Because my great uncles, two of them, went to Cuba, cut sugar cane. Beloved brother, during them times, the history of Cuba at Batista, when they had Cuba like a house of prostitution, the Americans, and with Batista. So, beloved brother, our people is that close connection. I don't know if my people, them, and it's not just my family, a lot of others, from St. Kitts Nevis and went here, beloved. And I sure we have people there still, beloved, from one generation to the next. So when you hear me talk so passionate about Cuba, number one is the great things that under the great President Fidel Castro did for Africa and African peoples globally, beloved brother, and directly my great uncle, beloved brother. Great things, beloved, and I want to see the thing, brother, sooner than later. And like I say, beloved, I cannot see why Carrie come cannot set up. And next thing in Jamaica, one in Cuba, fun in the Caribbean. Just like how they have, I'm not following them because, you know, medicine and everything started in Africa, beloved brother. All what they know is just carbon copy of what the great Imhotep did, beloved. So, brother, we need to do that, man. Not just leave Cuba alone when it comes to research and different things. We got brilliant doctors. Let me do this, man. Come on, can we come? Wake up and stop this nonsensical thing every year. You just go and drink champagne, alcohol, eat pork and alcohol and all the meat. You know? And then nothing get done every year from 40-something years. Let's do something for our people and do it now, beloved. Well, beloved, all I have to say to now, continue to listen. Pan-Africanism and perish. One love, my beloved brother.
Okay, one love. Thank you. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning, caller. You're live. Okay.
Mr. Nichal?
Good morning, caller. You're live.
Morning, sir. You know, I have maritime rescue accident with the largest container boat in the world, run aground with 20,000 containers on board.
Talking about the Suez Canal.
Hello?
Talking about what's going on in the Suez Canal?
Yeah.
Okay.
And other ships can't get to pass.
Right.
You got hundreds of ships out there in the ocean, and the container boat barred the entire Suez Canal.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to take the long way around to Africa, which will take 3 weeks and cost more.
Mm-hmm.
And other countries don't experiencing shortage in supply because these ships can't get to deliver. And I think the container boat about 400 meters long, the largest in the world, 20,000 container on board. Okay. You.
All right. Think we lost that caller. Okay. All right. Feel free to give us a call back. Don't know what happened there, but we will. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. We're gonna take a break. We'll come back on the other side and continue our discussion.
And it's time to hunt your prize. Come and celebrate Easter at the City Drugstore Nevis. Here are the rules. 1. Visit the store. 2. Browse for what you want and browse some more. 3. Choose wisely, and if you present a product with special clues, you win. Prizes include discounts, TDC gift cards, sweet treats, and much more. What's Easter without some shopping fun? So visit the City Drugstore this Easter and win big in our Hunt Your Prize promotion.
Say yes.
right, welcome back to Frank and Candid on this Monday. I'm Tony Nass, and quickly before we go back to the call, the last caller mentioned that vessel that was blocking the Suez Canal. And the latest report is that the vessel that has blocked the canal for almost a week is finally free, and it's now cleared up. So thanks to that, trade is now moving along through the canal. So just for the caller, in case he wasn't aware of that, it's the latest news coming from Bloomberg, is that the vessel that blocked the Suez Canal for almost a week was pulled free from the banks. All right, so it's cleared up. Let's go back to the phone. Say good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am well.
Brother Nabu always said we must respect black people, right? And he always with his Queen Zinga or whatever. But that's a dancer. You ever a dancer yard before you dance abroad? When they were disrespecting the former Prime Minister, he no one name saw the former Prime Minister. I don't have to go down there in the lawyer. Anyway, I want to congratulate Chico. Yesterday I had a program with some inmates. And all those who had a hand with enhancing their education, and also to Virgil Hodge. I think she underrated.
Okay.
Or have done. So, anyway.
All right. Thank you. Back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. My name is James Davis.
Okay.
It's nice meeting you today. I have some slight problems in the Federation. I then have a shoreline that then cannot keep healthy. And different things like that. I have a slight problem. The bosses and the passengers are coming to the ferry terminal. And it's very serious concerning the ferry terminal and different things like this here. And people is coming down here and there is littering and different things like this here, throwing in the garbage here and there. And then just because I'm a cleaner for down here. And just because I'm a cleaner, they will tell me, you have to clean it up. And different things like this. And due to the fact of that, I'm saying to myself, the bartenders and them, at least them, if you are opening a drink, you need to have a pan underneath the opener. And different things like that, because that's what we used to do in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. You always make sure that no stoppers drop on the ground. And different things like this here. So due to the fact of that, I'm saying that then. We need to now, you are saying that then you are upgrade the bathroom and different things like this here. And due to the fact that the way that the hospitalities and things like this here, what really going on here in the Federation and so forth, I do not appreciate it because I am a person who cares about healthcare. I'm a person who works in the hospitality of health and different things like this here. And I have to come here and sweep. When I done sweep a morning time and different things like this here, the people are just coming and seeing the place is clean and then they're leaving it dirty. And different things like that. They honor the bus terminal.
Okay.
But due to the fact of that, I'm saying to myself that then people need to change their policy of technology of science.
All right.
Because then you got to develop our history. You got to develop our skills and different things like this here. May the Lord be with you. Everybody telling you lock me off the radio.
All right.
But
well,
how we gonna get together?
We got you. We got you. We got you. Thank you for what you do. Let's go. Got a notice here from the Ministry of Health, public service announcement here. As part of its robust national vaccination education campaign, the Ministry of Health invites the general public to a number of important COVID-19 vaccination information sessions and clinics at the following locations. Let me give you some of those that are up and coming. Today They're at the Challengers Community Center at 6:30 p.m. That's today, Monday. And tomorrow is Newtown Community Center, also at 6:30. And Wednesday at the Sandy Point Community Center at 6:30. All right. So, and they're making their way around the different communities, but that's the next 3 that's up and coming. So these are for education campaign with respect to the COVID-19 vaccination information. All right. Okay. Number of things that came out so far. One caller mentioned the noise and profanity on the road. Yeah, that's always a concern for quite some time. All an issue. Talk about parking, blocking of streets, and well, I'm quite familiar with what the caller was talking about with respect to Millionaire Street and Wrigley Avenue. That's kind of home turf for me, so I know exactly what he's talking about. So the only thing to resolve that, because you can't really widen those passageway between Millionaire Street and Wrigley Avenue, so you have to make them no parking. You know, people live through there, yes, but and they try to park next to their home and whatever, but when they do that, there's really no way for any other traffic to get through. Once they go in at night, that's it. That street is basically blocked. So I understand that. So anyway, that's I'm sure that will be taken care of in due course. Also, I want to commend the authorities on dealing with a matter at the Washington High, Washi High there, where there was for quite some time a drain there that was really a mess, and people have complained about it for some time. My report that I've gotten lately is that it was taken care of, and but there's still more work to do, as there's a large gaping hole left in that drain which runs through from what's that, from Shadwell housing through the school, and it's a big open hole in the drainage which could result in some of that mess flowing into the school itself. So take a look at that. We're thankful that it was cleaned up, but you know, take a look at that as well and see if we can resolve that as well. All right. Okay. We got a call. Let's take the call. Good morning. Welcome. Okay. We'll have that caller. All right. So we're talking about this Holy Week, what it means to you, the traditions that you uphold, if you uphold any at all, for Holy Week. A lot of things happen in this Holy Week, especially as you make your way down to Good Friday. Some of the things we do or have been doing on Good Friday, for example, the kite flying, conky, saltfish and dumpling, as culture says. Let's go to the phones. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Brother Tony.
Hey, good morning.
I don't believe that the Holy Week and the traditional Easter keeping up like before. Mm-hmm. I think things have moved away a bit from that, because people get more knowledge about the Bible and get knowledge towards certain things. So people do the things in a different ways now. You know, every Good Friday, some of us come out and we fly with kite. You know, the Easter sorrel, the Easter this, the Easter that. I remember in my days, you know, you got the sorrel for Easter, and you got the Easter Johnny cake and whatever, sorrel fish and whatever. But I don't see it happening now. I believe that phasing out gradually. And, you know, better than that, you know, things will be different, especially under this COVID situation. you know, people complaining and talking about things hard and they want the money down, all kind of thing. And the government must do that. I do not think that the government could do more what they're doing to help the ordinary man and woman in the country. And saying about how no investment is coming in the country. Now, what are these negative talk? With other country out there, but on earth, suffering, people can't even get job, people can't even find food to eat. Regardless of somebody must do something. Nobody else how. And I just want to let my good customers then. A little while from now, I will be in the market with some sweet potatoes. And people say I can't find things to do. Look on land here. And I would like to tell them that Cameron E now, so they don't give me a call. My customers then they don't know my number. They don't give me a call at 766-2210. You know, I don't stack up already with Cameron. So, you know, any one of my customers out there ready for any Cameron, just let me know. And I'll be in the market right now with some lovely sweet potatoes. Okay, brother Tony, have a nice day.
All right, you too. Have a good day as well. Yeah, sweet potatoes. All dry food actually is part of the Good Friday staple. At least for us here in St. Kitts and Nevis. The idea is that whatever you eat must be void of blood on Good Friday. To the extent that that continues, I don't know. Some of us will continue that. I will. But most people don't really pay much attention to that these days as a tradition. Well, some of it is because maybe they don't know. And some of it is because maybe they don't care. You don't have to, but it's a tradition that I'm happy to keep up, if only because I like sausage. So maybe that's why I would keep it up as a tradition. I know for sure, at least one day you can look forward to some good sausage is on Good Friday, for whatever your reasons may be. Your reasons may not necessarily be anything to do with Easter, but just that you continue a tradition of cooking sausage on a Good Friday. But anyway, that's Easter as it is. It is also, more than anything else, a big weekend. It's a whole 4-day weekend, so that's what people are more concerned about. Good morning, welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yeah, Tony.
Hey.
If a dumpling is round and flat, you ain't a dumpling, you know.
Okay. Is that dropper?
That's a nuplin.
Is that dropper?
Yeah, dropper.
Okay.
And nothing long could call a dumpling. No, them they are long plin and dropper.
You need to be a tractor wheel.
Ah, boy, and then you call it rubbers.
They bounce all over the place, you know.
Yeah?
They just get you and bounce all over the place.
No, man, you hold it down. like when we used to get the soy flour.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Oh, my God, boy, brother. How you see dumpling make, the flour they make all kind of toys.
Mm-hmm.
But we eat off the toys.
Oh, okay.
That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Good flour. But here's something else now again.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that a lot of bread people baking. I don't know if the kind of bakers ain't got the experience, or they deliberately doing how they baking.
Mm-hmm.
When you break a bread open, you're not supposed to smell no raw dough in there.
Right.
And the dough ain't supposed to wet.
Mm-hmm.
That means the bread ain't properly baked. And that is what we getting. We getting what you call flour, yeast, salt, water, and take that. What happened to the ingredients and how they used to let the bread bake once ago? Anybody who don't check up on these bread before they eat them, they will get sick. They will get sick because they're eating raw wet dough.
Mm-hmm.
So those people who get the job to bake for a baker, do your job correctly. Not because you may not be eating the bread when you bake. Make sure the bread is baked. I guess maybe they need to go back to them stone oven where you could put it in your bed and let all the heat stay in it and soak. But nowadays, you know, they're using the electrical oven, so everybody watching the light bill.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why the bread them taste so raw. But you ain't supposed to smell nothing. If you take out the pet and you box it up in your hand, it's like putty. So I'm calling on these people, please give people good bread to eat. Good bread, otherwise the bread they must stay there and your flour was waste. Thank you, Tony. That's all I have to say again.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you for your input there. All right, just to give you that notice again from the Ministry of Health, as part of its robust national vaccination education campaign, the Ministry of Health invites the general public to a number of COVID-19 vaccination information sessions and clinics at the following locations. Today they are in Challenges at the Challenges Community Center from 6:30 p.m. Tomorrow, Tuesday, they are at the Newtown Community Center at 6:30 p.m. Sandy Point Community Center is on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. And that will be it for this week. Next week, they'll move around to Tabernacle, Connery, and Keys, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the same time, 6:30 p.m. But just to give you for this week, as we go towards the holiday, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week. So it's Challengers on Monday, Newtown Community Center on Tuesday, Sandy Point Community Center on Wednesday. Each of those are at 6:30 p.m. So go and get the information on the COVID-19 vaccination and all the questions that some people seem to have with regards to the vaccine and the vaccination process could be answered at these sessions. Okay, so there you have it. If you're in these areas, take the opportunity to learn more about the vaccine and vaccination. Okay, speaking of vaccine and vaccination, we're moving along with respect to that. We are steadily climbing to where we want to be. And I talked about cruise lines this morning and how countries, some islands, are pushing ahead and trying to make themselves a home port for obvious reasons. I mean, because if you're a home port, then you stand to increase the amount of dollars you make as a country with respect to tourism and cruises, because as a home port, the people have to come into your country. They have to spend more hotel time with you, therefore spending more dollars. So for a cab driver, that's an extra trip to and from a hotel. So apart from the people who are landing here for sightseeing. So home port, along with whatever else it may bring, could bring some benefits to the country as well. And you see Jamaica is pushing hard for that. I think Barbados already is home port for one of the, I think it's Carnival, one of Carnival's lines. And Jamaica is now making a big push. Bahamas just got the benefit of that in the last couple of weeks. An announcement was made about another cruise line picking up the Bahamas as a home port. What is happening is that a lot of these cruise lines are not able to use what was their home port in Florida, because the CDC has not lifted the restrictions on cruises. So they want to cruise, and because the CDC has restrictions on them cruising out of Florida, they need to come up with, and they want to cruise. They have put in a lot of the protocols and guidelines that the CDC has recommended, but the CDC has not lifted the restrictions as yet. So because they want to start cruising, they have to, if they want to do that, they have to use a different home port, and so they're in the market for home ports. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Nias,
Yes.
a very good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you? Long time no here.
Oh, I'm blessed.
Great, great.
The face of the earth alive. I have a concern, and a very serious concern, and this is over the past, I would say, 6 years, if not more. That for some reason or other, I have nothing against the bus drivers, but I don't know why they seem to think for Thomas Road. It's now the highway country. The first instance, the passenger buses no right to be coming through this residential area. Children come through here so crazy that Miss Shiverton, only Shiverton, the BPC, she has a sign erected at 5 ways. That buses should not go beyond this point. They should divert and go down by the center on the upper portion. But for some reason, they have been disobeying rules and regulations. They can fed up having to put back on my the keep. Months ago, the young lady didn't even.
I think you're breaking up there, Carl.
I'm wondering where are the traffic officers? Where are they sleeping? Are they on vacation? They're afraid to come out and do their work. I don't know who else to write to. I've written 3 different commissioners I've written to. Who else to write?
Well,
yeah?
let's hope they're listening to this broadcast, or one of the functionaries are, so that we could get some action on this. Know exactly what you're talking about. So,
so why are they disobeying and not carrying out the rules and regulations, adhering to the
yeah, you see,
passenger buses do not.
Enforcement is what it's about sometimes.
They're going to wait until they kill somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be there if they kill, but if they knocked on somebody and the person died, I wouldn't hesitate to go into court and tell.
Okay.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right. Thank you. You too. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The caller is right. And the speed that has come through Irish Town. And they have some motorcycle now making a lot of noise all night, all day. Nobody looking into nothing. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Well, family, well, you know I call in to support Alice, my friend, 100%, and Derek, my friend. Those two are my friends, so I could call in him. Derek has been talking about that Fort Thomas Road for years. And Donnelly went there, go adjust the situation. But like Derek said, they're breaking the law, they ain't obeying. And we want to know if our complaint are falling on deaf ears. I want to know if they plug up the ear with arc welding, that they don't hear these complaints and do something about it. Because these people who are breaking the law, they have no respect for the law and the little penalty what they're charging them. So they need to step up on the penalty. Frederick Dyer and Derek Freight and Alice and somebody has been talking about this Irish Tongue Road speeding through here with them vehicles. So I'm supporting them all the way.
Yeah.
Who know you wrong and they say nothing, they condoning it. Thank you, Tony.
All right. Somebody said they need to put routes for that, through Fort Thomas Road, so that clean it up right away. It's all about enforcement. You know, the rules and regulations and signs and what have you are only as good as they are, enforced. Because if there's a rule, a regulation, there's a sign, but you ignore it and do the opposite, and there's no consequence, then why wouldn't I continue to do that? Just ignore it, because there's no consequence to it. As soon as there's consequence and you can feel the consequence, then it will stop. I guarantee you that. And I think that's what's happening. If there's an issue across there, then maybe we need more presence initially to curb that. And once there's more presence and you start to write the tickets and provide and give the penalties, then you'll see how quickly that changes. You got a call? Let's take that call. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, good morning, caller.
You hearing me?
Yes, I am.
When the block the road at Saturday time, down where they used to be, up to the market, people must drive and Port Thomas Road. They don't want them drive
on Saturday. On Saturday. On Saturday.
Yeah, we don't want them run. Down on this issue, up on the line where they're not gonna know. We don't want them run in the sky. They're talking about the bull.
Okay. All right. We got a caller. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Mr. Knight, I am not calling that they must not come through Fort Thomas Road. They're disobeying the rule. They're supposed to go down on the Bay Road on Saturdays and come up Malone Avenue and continue on to Fort Thomas Road.
Okay. Yeah.
They're supposed to come directly through. And that gentleman apparently doesn't know what he's saying, and he's saying what he doesn't know. He doesn't live across here. I'm telling you, on Friday, I was sitting in my sitting room looking at television, and where I was sitting, I could have seen the buses. I count 35 buses, and all had wrong different numbers.
Okay.
They were not even duplicated. He's talking about on a Saturday morning. On a Saturday morning, they're not even supposed to come through here. They're supposed to divert down by the Cenotaph, come on the Bay Road, come up Malone Avenue. When they get by the top of Malone Avenue, then they turn right onto Fort Thomas Road. They're not supposed to come through. I am fearful for my life, because if I step off my step one morning and they knock me down, who's going to be responsible? I mean, this busman must understand, like he who called just now, to counterfeit what I think. He doesn't live across here. I'm sure he does not. It's not that I have anything against the busmen. I'm just, for their sake too, I'm trying to keep them out of trouble, getting summonses and to kill people. I mean, a life destroyed cannot be regained. So I don't know what he's talking about, what we expect the busman to do. But then get the bus and come to here. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, on Saturday morning, the traffic, they put up the sign over there at Malone Avenue, and you come down the Bay Road. That is true. You can't go any further than that, so you make the turn at Malone Avenue, heading back to Fort Thomas Road. That is the case. That's what I have seen. So, yeah, I could attest to that sign or that traffic block right there at Malone Avenue. Anyway, and like the caller said, it's about obeying the traffic rules. So, there you have it. Sometimes we get a lot of that because people want to make their own rules or disobey the rules that they feel they should disobey. All right, let me again for the public, COVID-19 vaccination information sessions and clinics today in Challengers at the Challengers Community Center at 6:30 p.m. Tomorrow, Newtown Community Center, 6:30 p.m. And on Wednesday, Sandy Point Community Center, 6:30 p.m. Go out and get the information that you have been seeking, asking about. It's all there for you. And they're making it easy and accessible by going to all these different communities when they have been to a number already, and they will continue with these 3 this week, and they are intending to reach Tabernacle, Connery Keys, Molyneux, St. Peter's, Deep Bay, all of that, Irish Town, all of that is coming up. So just to let you know, this 3 that's coming up this week, it's a short week. Challengers, Newtown, and Sandy Point, 6:30 each day at those locations. All right, I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you all for your input, your comments, your suggestions, and all of that. I'm Tony Nass, and we will be back tomorrow, if it is to be, with much more conversation right here on Frank and Candid.